nonsense. Okay, now, excuse me, I have to take my ring off here. We all know what that, what? Not yet. No, this is not about being knocked out. This is about being knocked in, which is better than knocked up. So at least you got the best out of the three of those. Now, what I want you to do is put a finger up like this, okay? Are you left-handed? Okay, I'm left-handed too, so that worked out great. See? Now, all I want you to do is to hold that finger like that, because now, it's okay, you don't have to look at it. You just look at me, all right? Now, my finger is moving. Your finger is still. Watch, your finger's going to move now. That's right, there it goes. That's right, keep looking at me. Keep breathing. Take a deep breath in. Slowly let it out through your nose. That's right. You don't have to look at it. I'll move your finger. Here it comes. Now close your eyes. That's right. Now I'm going to push your hand up slightly, and I want you to let it go up just like this. And I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to move it like this. Now I want this hand to move towards your face and this hand to move down, but I want it to go only at the rate that you really go into a different state. Just before you go to sleep at night, Doris, you hit a state called hypnagogic, where your muscles relax. So I'm going to touch you right in the third eye, and I want you to just let your head go back, all the way back. And I want you to keep going deeper and deeper. And I'm going to talk to Ralph here next to you. And while you keep going deeper and deeper still, I want you to go back and I want you to sing some nursery rhymes from your childhood. Mary had a little lamb, whatever nursery rhymes they sing from wherever you came from. Just listen to them inside your head. And those nursery rhymes are going to remember a feeling from your childhood, a very wonderful feeling. Because when you were young, you played with things. You heard voices from dolls. All kinds of amazing things happened. Our imagination was free before we had to mature and give up all that wonderful stuff. And back in that state, you were able to do some magical things. So while you keep going back younger and younger, all you have to do is let the sounds drift away. Go into the back of your mind. Your unconscious is close enough to hear me. And when I touch you like this, it'll know to listen very closely. Now, I know you're getting the point, because as your hands move towards each other, you're going to find a point of balance. And at that point of balance, you're going to drop into a different altered state. Now, hold up your finger like this. Okay, so you're right-handed. That's okay. Don't shake a head. I'll tell you when to shake. There we go. Now, deep breath. Slowly out through your nose. Another deep breath. All the way back. All the way. That's right. That's right. Take a deep breath in and just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper still. Sleep. That's right. Now, let that hand go down, but let your mind go back all the way. Let it go. Let it relax. Let your shoulders relax. Just keep going deeper and deeper still. Here, give me your hands. Okay. Now, the translator is going to keep up with me. I'm going to say a sentence. He'll repeat it. Okay. Okay, take a deep breath in through your mouth. Slowly let it out. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. See, since you can't hear me, you got to watch. I'm just going to show you what to do, okay? Now count. Go 20, inside your head. 19, 18, 17. Just keep counting. Counting. That's right. Close your eyes. Now, sleep. That's right, all the way back here. All the way back. That's right. Let's go. Now, I want all of you to relax. And I want you to just keep drifting back and back and back. That's right. Keep drifting back. That's right. And the deeper you go, the more that finger will remember. Some of you saw a finger that shook. Some of you saw a finger that was still. And it still doesn't matter which finger it was. It only matters that you feel younger, that you go back to childhood songs, that you go back to the alphabet. That's right. And that you keep drifting back and finding a state of balance. Because back when you were young, you used to see things that you can't see anymore. Because before your mind learned to organize and discover the difference between things, it all was one big something. You didn't know where a drawer was and where the bureau was. It was all one thing till you saw people open the drawer and you began to notice the patterns that emerge through years of experience. Now, through the years of experience that you've lived, you've learned that some things are times to feel bad. Now, some things are worth feeling bad about. Fire is a good one. If you touch fire too long, it'll either burn you or you'll get scared and you'll move before it does. If you see headlights racing towards you down the road, you don't need to take a closer look. You need to stay on the curb. The job of your unconscious is to find a way to protect you. But I think your unconscious has been somewhat sloppy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to build a new childhood feeling. We're going to play the game of pretend. Now, back when you were young, honestly younger now, if you go back to about when you were 5, maybe 4, maybe 6, maybe 3, back to a really pleasant memory. See what you saw when you were there. In fact, feel the way you felt then, and let that feeling spin and spread. Remember, you had a childhood knees. You had the wiggly toes. You had giggles here and there. All the things that kids have. And the more you remember the sound of giggling, the more you remember the games you played, the more you remember those things, the better you start to feel. Because before you learn the years of things that you did learn, which are good things, and I don't want you to do anything that makes you lose anything that's worth keeping. But by the same token, you could be excited by anything. It took good, well-meaning people to teach you your limitations. Now, some of you learned that you were not artistic, and some of you learned you were not musical. Some of you learned you were not smart, and some of you learned you were not beautiful. But before you knew that, you felt all of those things easily. Because it's not that you got smarter. It's that you learned to accept suggestions which were unnecessary. Now, in a moment, Doris, I'm going to touch you on the knee. And when I do, I want your unconscious to start to answer me with those wiggling fingers. I want you to use your left finger. That's right, still now. Still the left finger. Very still. That's right, just stop for a second. I want your left finger to signal me yes when it's a yes. And I want you to use this finger to signal me no. Because I want to ask your unconscious, do you believe that Doris is ready to go into a really deep trance? All right? Because I want you, Doris's unconscious, to take her so deep that it's okay to be alone with me. Are you willing to do that? That's right, a full response now. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take Doris's conscious mind and I want you to put it away somewhere safely. And I want you to bring forward the conscious mind she had at about the age of 5. And I want you, when you're ready, to let your left hand come up when it's okay to be alone with me. And I want you to begin now. Now, Ralph, I want you to do something totally different. In a moment, I'm going to reach over and touch you on the knee. And what I want you to do is I want you to take that best childhood memory, and I want you to make it start right at your heart and spread all over your skin. And when you do, I want you to begin to giggle. And you'll know there's something to giggle because it's something later in life that you got mad about unnecessarily. Things that you worried about. Somebody asked me the other day who I was going to vote for president in the United States. And I laughed and I said, I'm not going to vote because they haven't got anybody I want to vote for yet. I miss people like Ronald Reagan. I think we should pick a really good actor and have him pretend to be president. I was thinking, but some of these actors are too political. So I was thinking maybe we should have a cartoon character this time. Maybe Mr. Invincible. It would make a good one. Spider-Man 3, president. Something like that. And they said, you're not being serious enough. Well, there are times to be serious. There are serious things we have to deal with. This is not one of those. This is time to become less serious and more powerful. Because the experiments we're going to run here are simple experiments. Now, Roberto, I want you to begin to lean your head back and just fall backwards in your mind. Let your hand move towards your forehead ever so slowly and unconsciously and drift away. And I want you to go deeper and happier and deeper and happier. Because in a moment, I'm going to ask you about some important things. But I want you to go and look at them in a new way. The smile you have now, I want you to double the smile. Double it again, and double it again. Because if you started with a big smile, then the question is, what would you gamble it for? Would you take this good feeling and put it on a crap table and bet on number 12 and spin the roulette wheel when you put your money on the crap table? That wouldn't make any sense. But I think all too often the pleasures of life, people gamble away over things that don't amount to anything. That's right. When that hand comes all the way up, I'll know that you're ready, Doris. That's right. Lifting now, shifting, younger, and doing all the things you need to do unconsciously so that there's just you and me, Doris, alone in a secret place so we can do things of importance. Now, Rolf, deeper and deeper and deeper still. Let that hand go down now. That's right. And as it goes down, I want you to go all the way down. The right hand. That's right. Bring it down. And stay in that good feeling. That's right. The thing I want each of you to master is how you learn to do new things. They taught us when we were young to struggle through new things. I have a theory that if we don't jump to struggling, but instead jump to fun, we can engage in the natural process of learning. We take our smiling, right, and from the smile, we look at the tasks that seem insurmountable, and suddenly we begin to hear differently and to see differently. Now, in a moment, Rolf, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes, and I want your head to wake up, but I want your body to stay in trance. So your mind and your head will move around consciously, but your body will still be in a deep trance. The rest of you will just keep going deeper and into the right place. Now, Rolf, when you come out of this trance from the neck up, I'm going to have a conversation with you, but your body is going to remember what laughing is all about. Because I want you, when I touch you on the knee, to start laughing deeply. Now. Big laugh. Come on, bigger laugh than that. Come on, big, big, big laugh. That's right. Now, when your head comes out of trance, you know the important things that are important enough to feel bad about. If we have children and they don't clean their rooms, we look in and we get this horrible bad feeling like their whole lives will be ruined if their bed isn't made properly. We have all these rules for other people's behavior, which in the end, we never stop and realize it's like putting your feelings on the crap table. Because as soon as you allow your good feelings to disappear. Doesn't mean you don't tell your kid, clean your room, but it doesn't mean you have to feel bad while you do it. You can act like you feel bad. Sometimes acting is a good thing. If people come in and scold you for your political views, you shouldn't have voted for that person. You have bad political views. There are people in France killing each other right now and burning buildings down because they're up happy with how an election came out. And probably that's because they have abundances of bad feelings. Nobody likes losing, and nobody likes it when their candidates lose. In fact, I don't like losing at anything. That's why I don't allow my clients to lose. I think it's important to put things into perspective. And a good perspective means if from the neck down you feel that something is incredibly silly and funny, and intellectually still think about it the same way, it allows you to have a new view. It allows you to begin to evaluate what's really important. Of course, if something bad happens to one of your family members, you're going to feel bad for them. But you have a whole selection of ways to feel. You could become determined to make sure you do everything about it, or you could just become lucidly angry. But for our purposes here, we're going to start with that laughter. Let me hear it one more time. That's right, louder. Come on, don't dilly-dally around. That's right, double it again. All right, now when I count to 3, only your head is going to come out of trance. 1, 2, 3. Kind of silly, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, now it's time for us to talk about things of more importance. Tell me, is there anything that you feel bad about every day? That's a yes/no question. You don't have to tell us what it is. I told you I'm a mean mask. Yes, so there's something you feel bad about every day. You don't have to say what it is. That's just a yes/no question. Okay, now if you were to think it bad about it right now, how would you feel? Not so good. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to go find your laughter. All right, keep the laughter. All right, now think about it. That's right, keep thinking about it. That's right, because it's not that you need to laugh at it. What you need to get is a perspective. Now close your eyes. Now, if you're going to feel bad about it every day, you could even plan. You could go, tomorrow at 12 o'clock, I'll have this bad feeling for 3.5 minutes. Okay. Now, or you could plan, you could say, doing that would be kind of silly, wouldn't it? You could laugh louder than that. Now, there's another feeling which you have, which I think is very important. The feeling of being determined to overcome difficulty and to do the best that you can. Now, I know that sometime in your life you felt so determined that you were a force to be reckoned with. Now, what I want you to do is to remember that feeling for a minute. Close your eyes. Remember that feeling. Then I'm going to count to 3 again. And when you open your eyes, I want you to think about what it was that you used to feel bad. And I want you to take the determination and the laughter and think about it one more time. Because the question is, are you going to spend 3 hours feeling bad about this, 3.5 minutes? Or are you going to plan some way to make it as good as you can? That's what successful people do. Now, 1, 2, 3. Head up, all the way awake. That's right. Now, what I want you to do is stop right now and think about the thing you would feel bad about every day. Now, close your eyes, and I want you to make a decision, because that's just one thing. Think how many other things you could feel bad about, and in fact do. The question is, are we going to go through our lives feeling bad about things? This poor OCD person felt bad about whether or not the door had been locked. She'd go, but if I didn't lock it just right, so she'd open it and close it again, and open it and close it again, and open it and close it again. Now, when we look at that, we laugh and go, it's silly. But when we look at our own things, all too often, we never give ourselves the chance to laugh and become more determined. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up this hand, just like that. Only this time, when your hand moves towards your face, I want you to take an idea. I'm going to turn your hand upside down, and I want you to open your eyes and see your ball in it. Because this time, there's something inside the ball. It's called a new idea. And I want you to pull the ball towards your face. And just before it gets there, 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. That's right. Look into the ball and begin to see the future. Begin to see all the possibilities. Things that you could do that would be different. Things you could do that would make you feel different. Things that would make you stronger. Things that would get you to lighten the fuck up about certain things. And if you begin to look into the future that way, your hand will suddenly move up towards your face and the ideas will seep into your mind. Okay, we're getting very close here, Doris. Now, once again, I'm going to ask your left hand a question. Are you ready to be alone with me? Full response now, Doris, all the way up. That's right. Now, you may hear some sounds. You may see some lights and things which could have distracted you. But if you focus on me, look into my eyes, and just listen and listen to what I say, we're going to do something really fun. Now, are you ready to meet me in the middle of nowhere? That's right. Now, I'm going to count to 3. I want you to open your eyes, and I want you, for just a few minutes, till I touch you on the knee, to be 5-year-old Doris. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Doris. How are you? Now, Doris, don't worry. That's nothing to worry about, dear. Everything is fine. All I want you to do is to play a little game with me, because we're going to make plans for your future. It's really kind of a fun game. Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? No? Well, there's no reason to. Not at this moment. In fact, sometimes when we grow up, we decide how smart we are and how silly we are. Have you ever noticed how adults don't seem to have much fun? They're like that sometimes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach over and I'm going to touch you on the knee. And when I do, you're going to suddenly become very sleepy. And as you go, you're going to dream a dream. And in that dream, you're going to look into your future and you're going to see yourself feeling beautiful and being happy. And you're going to see yourself being very relaxed. And then suddenly that dream is going to seep in. And when it seeps in, it's going to tickle. Dreams are like that. Now, sleep deep. And every time you wiggle your toes, a little of the dream seeps in. That's right. A little bit more. A little bit more. That's right. Now, let me move over here for a minute. Okay. Now, in a minute, dear, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes, and you're going to look at me with the biggest smile that you can find. That's right. Now, do you like smiling? Okay, good. Well, I'm going to make you a deal. Okay. In a minute, I'm going to take this very finger, and I'm going to touch you right on the forehead. And at the moment I do, what's going to happen is something is going to seep inside of you. Because, you see, when you smile, it's all based on how strong your feelings are. And my feelings are extremely strong. Okay? You ready? That's right. Let it spread down here, down here, down here, down here, down there, all the way down to the toes. Wiggle your toes, and there it goes. Now, Roberto, I want you to drop twice as deep. And I'm going to lift up this hand right here and this finger. And what I want your unconscious to do is to tell me, all it has to do is give me a little twitch for a yes when you're ready. I'm going to ask you, are you ready to have Roberto go into a deep enough trance that he can begin to change something that's important that you know about and I don't? That's right. Now, since you know Roberto much better than I do, what I want to do is in a minute I'm going to touch him on the knee. I want you to have him start dreaming too. Only in this dream, he's going to see himself living what I call easier. Because I think people work too hard at life. They struggle to become motivated because they don't have something inside them that's like a chemical lab. Now, if you were to start to have a chemical lab inside of you, and one of the things that was in there was something that could supercharge you, it would rush blood into every single vein and every single artery and every single capillary and pour oxygen and nutrients into your body so that you felt nourished and charged. Well, you see, your unconscious can do that. So in a minute, I'm going to reach over and touch you, and you're going to start to dream wildly. And in the midst of that dream, you're going to begin to see something totally different. Yourself. You're going to see yourself doing the same things, but quicker and faster and easier and happier. Dream now. That's right, big dreams. That's right, pull that ball all the way up, son. There it comes. Now, the express train to change works this way. What I want to demonstrate to you is it's not so much the technique you use as what it's aimed at. If you can find a way around the belief systems that people have, most people believe, well, this is impossible, I can't do this, I can do this. So really the only value of trance phenomenon, as far as I'm concerned, is setting up a convincer. If people can do one new thing, it usually implies to them that they can do other things. Now, if we consciously set up limitations for ourselves, that doesn't mean that they exist unconsciously. You can spend 40 years doing yoga to control your heart rate, but sometimes you put people in a trance this deep, and what happens is you hook a heart monitor up to them and say, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, and they can slow it down to almost a non-existent beat. It's not too good to slow it down too much. You only want to slow it down to just